I'm Dave Eaton, president of Old Town Magic Shop. Myself, Vern McCarthy, and the magicians of Old Town are all here today at the site of our first location, Old Town in Kissimmee. Welcome to our second video of Magic and More You Can Do. Now, the more is an answer to requests we had for basic instruction in sleight of hand, but that's only a small part of what you'll be learning during the next hour. Soon, you'll be performing some of the world's greatest card tricks, rope magic, magic with liquids, and stage magic. Oh, thanks, and good luck. Our Old Town Magic Shop catalog. If you'd like a copy, just mail us the request card that came with your video. Now let's get started. Our first stop is the Old Town Magic Shop studio. Folks, the gentleman sitting right next to me really needs no introduction if you have our first videotape. This is Mr. Vern McCarthy. And Vern is our magician in residence here at the Old Town Magic Shops, and quite a magician he is, too. Vern, in our first video, we showed folks how to do several really good magic tricks, and in this one we have 4 more to teach them, so let's get started. What do you have?
Dave, this is a very exciting deck. It's called the stripper deck. You can do some amazing things with this deck. For instance, we'll shuffle half of the cards face up into the other half of the deck, so that in effect the entire deck is mixed up, some face up and some face down.
Right.
The amazing thing about this is to get the deck back to the correct position again, all you have to do is cut it in half like that, and your deck is back together.
Wait a minute, how can you do that?
Isn't that amazing?
That's incredible.
Another fun thing you can do with the deck is take 4 aces like this. Can you hold them, please?
I'd be happy to.
And just put them anywhere in the deck you'd like.
Just anywhere in the deck.
Anywhere
Okay, I'm going to put
whatsoever.
one up toward the top and one in here. Now, Vern, I'm not putting these in any special position. I'm just sticking them in here.
That's perfect, Dave.
Okay.
So all 4 aces are back in the deck, totally mixed up as to where they are.
Right.
What's neat is you can even let the spectator shuffle the deck just like this.
Right.
However, anytime the magician wants to find the 4 aces, all he has to do is go like that, and there they are again.
The 4 aces that were in that deck. Vern, that's incredible. I don't know how you could do that unless this is some sort of a gimmick deck.
It's a special deck. You're absolutely right, Dave. It's called a stripper deck for this reason. The cards are slightly tapered or wedge-shaped. So the top half is slightly more narrow than the bottom half. It's very small, so a casual examination of the deck, you'd never see it. You can actually play cards with this deck. Because of that, if one card is placed into the deck upside down from the other cards, it'll actually show up merely by pinching gently against the ends of the deck like this. You can feel that card and strip it out or pull it out.
Because it's sticking out slightly along the sides.
It's slightly fatter at one end than the other end, so it's very easy to feel, and you just strip it out like that.
Boy, this deck like that, you could do lots of tricks with this deck.
There are literally dozens of tricks you can do with that deck.
That deck we're going to include with the videotape. And we're going to give you instructions for several tricks that are a lot of fun, and that's called the stripper deck, and that's in the packet of materials that we give with the tape.
That's included with the props.
Great. Okay. What do we have next?
This is an exciting effect. I call it the deepest thought. What I'd like to do, Dave, is give you a test on your ESP powers.
Okay.
Would you please select one of these 3 stacks?
Doesn't matter which one?
Any one you like.
I'll take the middle one.
And I'd like you to mentally select one card out of this stack. And since we want to let our audience know which card it is, I'll turn around and you can indicate it to them.
Okay, let's see. Let's pick the...
Okay, everybody knows what the card is?
Yes.
Now what I'm going to do is...
We know.
No, I don't know. We're going to put the cards back down again, and what I'd like you to do is use your powers of ESP and see if you can detect which of these 3 stacks your card is in.
Okay. I'll go for that one.
Okay, all I need you to say is yes or no.
Yes.
It is in there. It is in there. Very good. Most people don't do that well. Let's do it one more time
to
make sure that wasn't just luck.
Okay.
Now, what's neat about this effect, Dave, is the spectator never has to take the card out of the stacks. He never touches the card. He just mentally looks at it and memorizes it.
Okay.
Which stack do you think it's in this time?
We'll go for the one on the far end.
Okay, let's see if you're right again. And is it in there?
Sorry.
Not this time. Which one of these remaining 2 do you think it's in?
Well, I'll go with this one.
All right. And again, yes or no if it's in there?
Nope.
Oh, well, we'll presume that it's in the center stack. Now, Dave, I'm going to show you what can happen if a person actually develops their sense of ESP.
All right.
Would you please, just before I start, gently run your fingers along the cards, making sure you touch every one of them?
Okay.
That's perfect. Now, what I'm going to do is to try to locate your card by touch alone using my sensory perception. I got a feeling out of that card, that one, this one,
Vern, I only chose one card.
We're going to have to get down to that one card in just a second. Okay, these 4 cards all gave me sensations. Would you do me a favor and just touch them gently once, Dave?
Just, okay.
Each one like that. Perfect.
All right.
That's very good.
Thank you.
Now, this one I don't feel any sensations from.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
Would you touch both of these again, please?
Be happy to.
Touch this one once. Touch this one more time, please, Dave. Would you, for the first time, name your card out loud?
It was a 7 of clubs.
Did it look anything like this one?
Vern, that's a wonderful card trick. I didn't even know I had ESP.
You're very good at that.
How do you do that?
It's a mathematical trick, Dave. The deck does the work for you. All you need to do is have 3 stacks of 7 cards.
Uh-huh.
The spectator chooses a card mentally. It's a free selection. They can choose any card they want to. The only thing you have to remember is when you put the deck back together is to make their stack go in between the other 2.
I see.
You have to do it 3 times, and what will happen is their card will wind up being in the 11th position from the top of the deck.
Right.
That's why I put the cards out like this again. Each time I do that, I mathematically rearrange the cards.
And you have to do that 3 times.
A total of 3 times that their stack has to go into the center of the other 2.
I see.
When that happens, it's guaranteed that their card will be exactly 11th from the top. So at the end, when I had you run your fingers like that on it, that was just dressing for the trick. All I'm doing is giving you an excuse for how you think the magic's going to work. And when I'm rubbing the cards like this, I take my time. And some cards I throw out, some I don't. I just keep track of which is the 11th card.
That's the chosen card.
And that's the chosen card. Just reveal it at the end.
That's wonderful. And the thing that's so nice about it is that it's entirely mechanical. As long as you do 3 stacks, no matter whether their card appears in one of those stacks or not, that 11th card from the top is going to wind up being the card that they chose.
Always, and since the deck does the work for them, mathematically, they can donate all their times to presentation.
And all they have to do is tell you if the card is in that particular stack or not.
Correct.
Great. Okay, let's go on with the next trick. What's this one?
This is a great one. I call it Flim Flam Man. Dave, would you please take any card you'd like?
Any card at all?
Any card.
Okay, we'll go way down here. There we go.
Okay, and if you'd look at it, memorize it.
I've got it.
And then just say stop somewhere near the middle of the deck.
Stop.
And put your card there, please.
Okay.
Now, normally you wouldn't want to let me see that. You cut the deck like this. Now then, I'm going to show you some American shuffles. This is the Las Vegas shuffle. The weight of the cards pull the cards down. It's the best shuffle in the world. Magicians love it because it doesn't bend the cards. This is the Reno shuffle. It's a corner shuffle. It bends the cards. It's a little faster. This is an overhand shuffle. Now, a Flim Flam Man, when he shuffles unique from anybody in all the world. First of all, he holds the deck face up in his hands, and he turns every other card upside down. Well, as you might imagine, when he gets done, it's a pretty big mess. Now then, if the Flim Flam Man happened to be in Vegas or Reno or somewhere and was having a little holiday beverage, it might look something like this. He might not just do every other card. He might do 2 or 3, 3 or 4. He might be dropping cards, making a big mess. The amazing thing about it is, when he gets done, all he has to do is cut the deck in half, like so, and every single one of those cards are facing the right way again.
Wait a minute, Vern. Wait a minute. There's one card that isn't. Would you look at this? That happens to be the card that I chose, Vern.
Isn't that a
the
great
8 of Hearts, and it's the only one that's face up inside this entire deck. And you made a mess of that. I don't see how you did that.
It's a fun effect to do, Dave. This one is very easy. The only slide in it is easy to learn. I'm going to show it to you right now. Go ahead and take a card, please.
Okay, I'm going to take this one right
when
here.
they put the card back in the deck, they said stop.
Stop.
I had them put the card on top of this stack.
Okay, right like that.
And then I just curled my little finger over on top of their card. It's called a little finger break when I put the rest of the cards on top of it like that. From my viewpoint, the cards look like this.
I see your little fingers in there, and that's where your break is.
Exactly.
But I couldn't see that from my side.
From the front of the deck, it looks like this because the cards are squared up and there's nothing to show that anything's going on of note.
And your thumb has pressure here to keep them flat?
Correct.
Good.
Now then, to break the cards open, I just put my thumb in there, separate them. Now the spectator's card is located right here. Let's look at it. We're using the Queen of Clubs this time.
Right.
It's on top of this half, so I just leave it on the top. When I shuffle it last.
Last card to fall.
Yeah, so their card still hasn't moved. I do the Vegas shuffle. I do the Reno shuffle, the corner shuffle. Again, it's the last card to fall.
I understand.
Then I do the overhand shuffle. Now we do use a variation of a sleight called a book pass right here. What I'm going to do is use the fingers of my card on their card, which is on top of the deck.
Right.
I'm going to use the fingers of my hand to put slight pressure on their card, pull the rest of the deck out, half of it out, like that, and then just shuffle off the cards in my hand. All I've done is left their card on top of the deck. In regular speed, it looks like this. It's a very deceptive move. It looks like the cards were fairly shuffled.
Sure.
Now, at this point in time, their card is still on top of the deck.
Right.
Now all I do is I put a little spring in the deck by bending them like this, and that's just to give a slight bow to the deck. Then I start doing the cards face up like this and face down. The amazing thing about this is the movement of the hands deceives the eye so that you actually think the cards are being mixed up. In reality, all of the cards are going together this way, and when it turns over, they're still going together the same way. You can put them on this side of the deck, you can put them on this side of the deck. And all you're doing is arranging it so that two halves of the deck are facing towards each other until you come to the last card, which again will be the spectator's card. Put it on your side of the deck facing towards you. So it looks like this facing towards me.
Of course, they can't see that because the card is facing toward you.
Correct. Then square the deck up. Look for that bow that you made to start with earlier, and that's where the two halves of the deck are separated.
Right.
Break it out. Put one half on top of the other. Now the entire deck is in the correct position with the spectator's card upside down in the middle.
Okay.
All that you have to do is fan the cards out and they'll discover their card.
And there it is right there, the Queen of Clubs, which you've had control of the whole time. Vern, this is a nice trick. You know, we've had requests from people to show us a few simple sleights, and this does involve a couple of simple sleights, and it makes for a dynamite trick.
It sure does.
Now, what's that one called? That's called the Flim Flam Man.
That's the Flim Flam Man. It's a lot of fun to do.
Very good. Okay, the next one we have is Wizard Takes a Holiday.
This is one of my favorites, Dave. I like to present this one this way. Sometimes I get tired of doing all the magic, so we're going to reverse the situation.
Okay.
Most magicians say, take a card, then they tell you what it is.
Right.
I'm going to do that backwards. I'm going to name the card, then you take it. The way we'll do it is like this. Would you do me a favor and point to the, the Ace of Diamonds?
The Ace of Diamonds.
The Ace of Diamonds, please.
Okay, well, how about that right there?
This one right here. Make sure I get the right card. This one's the Ace of Diamonds.
That's the Ace of Diamonds.
You did pretty good.
Thank you.
Now have another spectators take a second card. We'll have them take the Five of Spades. Would you point to that, please?
Okay, I'm pretending like I'm the second spectator now. Okay, that'll be the Five of Spades.
Right there's the Five of Spades. Remember your first card was the Ace of Diamonds.
Right.
This one's the Five of Spades. Now I'm going to take a card too. Since I'm the magician, I'll let you see what I'm doing. I'll take the top card, and I'll take, incidentally, the Nine of Spades.
Nine of Spades.
And slide it down just like that. Nothing in my hands. Just the three cards the spectators took. And let's see, Dave, do you recall what those three cards were?
Let's see, there was the Ace of Diamonds.
The second spectator took the Five of Spades.
Five of Spades.
And I took the Nine of Spades. So there you have all three cards that the spectators took.
Now, wait a minute. How did I chose those cards, and you told me, I don't understand how you did that.
It's a fun trick to do, Dave. This one, the only thing you need to know to do this trick is what the name of the top card on the deck is. If you know that, you can do the effect. What you do is you fan the deck out, you tell them what you're going to do, you're going to name the card, they're going to take the card.
Right.
And you name that top card for the first spectator to take.
Ah, so it's kind of like you're one ahead.
Exactly, that's what magicians refer to this as the one ahead. So I'm going to ask you to point to the Ace of Diamonds. Now we all know that it's on top of the deck. The spectator naturally won't. Whatever card they point to, let's say they point to this card, take it out, you look at it, you being the magician, this case it's the Ten of Spades. So now I'm going to tell the next spectator to take the Ten of Spades. This one goes down, the spectator thinks that this is their card, the Ace of Diamonds.
Right.
So the next spectator takes the Ten of Spades. Let's say he takes this card. Again, I look at it, I can see that it's a Six of Hearts. I announce that I'm going to take the Six of Hearts. I merely take the top card. And now all three cards that have been named are down here on the table. They're not in the correct order.
Right.
So I pick the cards up. I absent-mindedly shuffle through them like this, rearranging them. And that's just to confuse anybody that was paying attention to what the order was.
Right.
Then I ask them to rename the card. The first spectator says the Ace of Diamond. The second one says the Ten of Spades. And the last one says the Six of Hearts.
It couldn't be simpler if it tried, Vern.
Very simple effect.
But that's a very, very deceiving effect. And that's an effect, that's a method that's used often by magicians called one ahead.
The one ahead.
And this is a beautiful way to demonstrate that.
Hi, how you doing? Would you like to help me with a real neat effect here? Look, this is a trick, not rope, okay? If I take this rope and pull it tight here, do you see what happened? You're not watching. You see the knot actually disappears. Are you watching? Let's try it one more time. You see what happens here? Pull it tight, please. No, you're not watching. You see, you can't really tie a knot in this rope. Let me show you one more time. Is there a knot in here?
There appears to be, but I don't see one.
Well, of course, there is one right here. Which way do you want me to pull it? Up like this or down like this? You see, it didn't really matter, okay, because we didn't have anything. Hi, how you doing, ma'am? My name's Tony. What's your name?
Hi, Carolyn.
Carolyn, would you like to help me with a nice effect? Stand right over here. Put your hands out like this, Carolyn. Good, put them tight together, okay? Close both your hands. If you would, cross your arms. Cross your arms again. Cross your arms again. Put your arms here, raise your arms, give them a little shake. Here, little shake. Lightly tap together. Okay, keep your hands closed tight. What I need for this effect is an ashtray. I'm gonna just dip my finger here in the ashes and place a little bit of ashes here and a little bit here. Carolyn, one more time. Cross your arms, and cross your arms. Bring your hands back here. Raise your arms, give them a little shake. Here, give them a little shake. Lightly tap together. Are you ready? Did you feel that one, Carolyn? How about that one? Did you feel that one, Carolyn? What I did was I knocked the ashes right through your hands. If you would, look at the bottom of your hands. Isn't that great? Carolyn, thank you very much. You have a nice day. Bye-bye. Clean your hands off first. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Hi, how are you? How you doing, sir?
Nice to meet you.
Hi, my name's Tony. What's your name?
Frank.
Frank and Vera. How you doing? Vera, would you like to help me with a neat magic trick? Do me a favor. Get Frank to hold your purse for you just for a minute, okay? Sure. There you go. Vera, open up both your hands. Okay, this is a real neat effect. I'm going to take these 2 quarters. This is really going to make you happy, okay? Close both your hands. Let me have complete control of your arms, Vera, complete control. Close your eyes. Just concentrate on the money getting bigger. Are you concentrating on the money growing? Are you concentrating?
Yes, I am.
This is a good effect, Vera. You ready? You have to concentrate now on the money getting bigger. Vera, you concentrating?
Yes, I am.
Good. Open up your hands, Vera. Close your hands. Oh, God, nothing happened. Now turn around just for a second, okay?
Okay.
There you go. Face the wall. There you go. Okay, Vera, turn back around. Open up your hands now. What happened? Nothing. I guess you just made a half a buck. Are you happy with that?
Oh, I thought you were going to make it bigger.
Make it bigger. Aren't you happy with just 50 cents? Okay, I'll tell you what. You keep that, and I'll keep this, okay? Vera, thanks very much. Have a nice day at Old Town. Dave and Vern, how did I do that?
Hey, Tony, we're going to teach you how to do that trick, but first we're going to demonstrate how Tony did the other trick, starting with voodoo ashes. That's where the ashes appeared on the lady's palms. How did it work?
It was a great effect, Dave. What you do is you start with their palms like in this position. Before Tony began, he put a little dot of ash on both fingers, and when he grabbed her hands, he said, now hold your hands just like this, now make a fist with them. And then he did all the business where he crossed them and up and down and all of that.
Kind of misdirection.
Exactly, time misdirection. Then when he was ready, he dotted his finger again in the ash and put a little dot on the back of both of her palms. He had her again do a little of the time misdirection. When he was ready, he just tapped her like that, said, did you feel anything? She said, no, turn your hands over.
And there were the ashes.
There it is.
This one fooled the crew in here, and they were surprised when they found out how that one worked. Okay, the next one he did was a thing called knots to you with the young lady, and the rope just wouldn't take a knot.
A beautiful routine, Dave. He holds a rope like this. It's important that you have equal parts hanging out behind both of your hands. Make them into an X, just like this, and the index finger and the thumb pinch together. That's all you have to do. Then as you pull, you reach through the loop. You pull the part of the X that's facing this way. As you pull it through, it looks like it's making a knot. When it gets close, you just close your fingers around it and continue to pull. And naturally, it disappears.
Can you show us one more time, Vern, how to make that knot?
One more time in plain view, you take the part in the right hand, put it on top of the part in the left hand. The index finger and the thumb pinch right here. And then you just reach through the loop and pull this piece just like that. I won't put my fingers up this time so you can see what happens. When it gets right here, the knot just disappears.
But you wrap your fingers around it just before that happens so they can't see the knot disappear. That's a great trick, and that's a quickie, too.
Now, then the other part that he did was an actual slip knot. And the way he did that is he did the same cross. The only difference is this time the first and second finger pinch this section of the rope.
Hold it in place.
He reaches through the loop again, and he just pulls it like this, and what that'll do is it'll make a little slip knot. I'll leave it in view here instead of covering it with my fingers like Tony did. It'll make a little slip knot right at the end as you continue to pull. That looks like a genuine knot. And then he covered it with his hand, pulled a little bit harder on both sides, and it made the slip knot disappear.
All right, and that's called knots to you. Now, watch out's coming up, my favorite.
This is an exciting one. I love watching Tony perform it. Dave, for this one, can we change places?
Sure.
It's just because you wear your watch on the left hand, fortunately most people do, on the left wrist. What Tony did here is he gave them both a coin, he had them close their eyes, and he had them concentrate on the coins growing larger, which is great misdirection. What he did here, while their eyes were closed, he puts his finger, his index finger and his thumb right over the wrist strap. And all he's doing is pushing up with the thumb and getting the strap to come out. Now, sometimes you'll be able to reach down with this other hand and do all of this one-handed. Other times, you can use the fingers of this hand as they come together to help you if you're having trouble with it.
Actually, you can have their hands come together as many times as you need.
It doesn't affect the trick one way. When he's finally got it loose enough, all he does is say, and open your hands, and he drops his hand with the wristwatch in it to the side. One more time in slow motion, it looks just like this. When he does the actual steal, he slaps them together, and he says, open your hands, and this hand just drops to his side. That's all he does. They are focused, however, on the coins in their hands. And then he can take all the time in the world that he wants to ultimately reveal that he's actually got the wristwatch.
Vern, while he's holding onto the wrist, does he apply a lot of pressure, or is it a loose hold?
Yes, actually, you'll find with different wristwatches, you'll have to change the amount of pressure. If you apply real tight pressure, you'll actually draw attention to that part of their body, which you don't want to do. If it's too loose, you won't be able to make the magic happen.
So the main misdirection here is for them to concentrate on those coins, and you're talking to them the whole time about concentrate on the coins, keep your arms loose, that sort of thing.
That's right.
Keeping them mentally busy while you're stealing their watch.
That's right, and it takes a lot of nerve the first couple of times you do this effect, but if you perfect it, you'll have this effect one that you'll use the rest of your life.
Hi, this is a great close-up illusion called piercing George's ear. Now, you know, there was a myth that George had an earring. I really don't think so. But if he did, he would have to have his ear pierced at one point or the other, right? So what you'll need is a dollar bill, a piece of paper that I've cut 2 slits in, and a pencil. See, we're going to take the dollar bill and then place it in the paper. Now, you'll notice as I fold over the paper with the dollar bill inside, you can see the dollar bill through the slits. And I'm just going to fold the top down so you can see you insert the pencil right between the bill like this. Now, listen. See, the pencil actually pierces right through old George's ear. On both sides, you can show it. Now, you pull out the pencil, you see. A little magic. And now, look. No hole there. But as you can see, there's a little hole in the paper. This is really a great little close-up miracle you'll have a lot of fun with. Piercing George's ear. Now we've got a place for an earring. You know, it's kind of difficult making a hangman's noose. You know, it takes a lot of time and practice. But right now I'm going to show you how to make a magician's hangman's noose with a little magic and the hangman's rope illusion. I need someone to come in. David, why don't you come in right here and join me? Okay, chin up. Okay, David, I've got 2 pieces of rope here, okay? As you can see the rope. Good, strong, sturdy rope. Here, you want to examine it? Yes. Thank you. Now, David, I'm going to find the exact center of the rope, okay? Well, we're going to try to find the exact center, which would be right about there, okay? You see? Now, I'm going to take the rope, and I'm just going to place it right around your neck, okay? Just hold your neck kind of straight up. All right. Good. And I'm just going to tie this right around your neck, both ropes. So we're forming a knot right in front of your Adam's apple, okay? Is that kind of snug? Yeah. A little tighter?
No, thanks.
No, okay. All right. Let's see, I'm going to need a little help. Jim, would you like to come in and help? Sure. This is Jim Lemons, folks. Jim, just follow me here. I'm going to take both ends of the rope here, and we're going to put it through his shirt. Are you ticklish, Dave? Yeah. Huh? Get. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's pull that through like that. Okay, Jim, if you don't mind, just go through the other side there. And let's see here, tighten it up a little bit. You okay? Yep. Now, have you ever been hung before, Dave?
No.
No? Of course not, right? Well, I tell you, just to ensure that he won't escape, I'm going to take and tie right here, one knot right in front of your shirt here. Now, you're all tied up, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, right around the neck. It's going through both sleeves and tied in the front. Okay. On three. The rope's gonna pass right through your neck and right through your shirt, all right? Okay, are you nervous? Yeah, good, okay. On three. 1, 2, 3 weeks ago when we did this, we actually choked someone, and don't do that at home, okay? All right, are you really nervous? Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, just calm down. Look straight out that way. Take a deep breath on 3. 1, 2, 3. And you see the rope dead indeed pass right through his neck, right through his shirt, and are you okay? Yeah, just don't shake your head like this for a while, okay? Okay. And that's the hangman's rope.
And that was Mr. Greg Franklin, one of our fine magicians here at Old Town, demonstrating some terrific magic. And Vern, we've got a lot of instruction to do, so let's get started. The first trick that Greg did was piercing George's ear. And for this trick, all you need is a dollar bill, okay? You need a piece of paper with 2 holes cut out in it, just like this. And you've got a pattern inside the special flash paper that came with this video, and it will show you just where to cut these slits. You also need a pencil, okay? Now, here's the secret, Vern. The dollar bill has a seal right here, and what you do is you cut a half circle with a very sharp knife.
So basically it's a letter C right around the seal.
That's right, and you create a little flap there. You see that? You've got a little flap. Now, when you're showing the bill, of course, you don't really notice that. You don't notice it at all. And actually, if you want to, you can put your index finger right on top of it like that to make sure that it doesn't flip open on you. So you take the dollar bill, you tell everybody it's an ordinary dollar bill, you put it inside this piece of paper, okay, just like this. You then fold them in, you fold both of them in half, like that. And then you take one part of the bill and you fold it down just like this. Okay? Now you take your pencil and you slip it down inside, and actually you go behind the flap. Can you see that? See how the pencil is going behind the flap that you cut?
So it's actually behind the bill.
It's going behind the bill, but your audience doesn't know that. You take it on down and you push it right through the paper, nice and slow. You can show it on both sides to prove to people that it has penetrated what they think is both the bill and the piece of paper. You then can remove the pencil, show the paper that it does have a hole in it, and then you can show your dollar bill. Again, I'm keeping my index finger on top of that seal so it doesn't accidentally flip open. It looks like a perfectly ordinary dollar bill, no damage whatsoever.
What a great effect.
It is a cute little trick. Vern, what do you have?
Well, let's show the next effect, that one of the other effects that Greg did. It was equal and equal ropes. He used the 3 different lengths of ropes, as you recall. And the way the trick works, the whole secret is this. He has them in his hand in this order. The short one first, then the middle one, then the long one. And all he does is reach behind the ropes and grabs the little rope, pulls it up, and places them right between the next 2.
So it's second from the right.
Exactly. Now then he grabs the rest of the ropes. Doesn't matter the order. I have the middle length here and then the long length here. Puts them up, and all he has to do is grab the 3 that are furthest from him and pull, and it looks like he stretched the ropes out.
It sure does. They look all equal.
But what's actually happened here is he's just halved the 2 ropes, and they're joined at one splice right in the center here. And they're the same length as the middle length, so they all 3 give the appearance of being the same. When he counted them out one at a time, which was a very nice move that he did, all that he does was he takes the middle length by itself between these 2 fingers. That leaves the index finger and the thumb available to grab in a moment. And he goes 1, 2, and he switches right here. So now I actually have the joined ropes here. 2, and then he comes back and gets the last one and says 3. And then his actual finish was he just brought the ends up. He pulled the ends out, showing the 3 ropes are all back to the same lengths again.
Equal and equal ropes, one of the most famous tricks in magic. He did another rope trick called hangman's rope.
Hangman's rope. It was a great effect.
He had a wonderful assistant for this trick as well.
A nice young man.
Nice young man. Happens to be Vern's son, Mr. Dave McCarthy. David, come on in here. Stand right between us, if you will, David, and we're going to show everybody how this works. I guess we need to have David facing toward the back.
If he'd face the other way, that would help us out the most.
That's your best side, David.
This is a very clever move that Greg uses. When he goes behind the spectator, he lets everybody examine the ropes freely, and the beauty of this effect is the ropes are totally ungimmicked.
That's right.
He goes behind the spectator, and as soon as his hands are behind the spectator, he grabs the rope like this, so he has 2 halves. It's out of view of the audience. He puts one of the loops through the other one, kind of like through the eye of a needle, and just doubles it over just like this. He presses that against the spectator's neck, and with slight pressure, that'll stay there.
I see. So it's the tension that's causing that loop to stay inside this second loop.
That's right.
Okay.
Then he pushes the ropes in front of the spectator. Now let's turn David around so we can see what it looks from the audience's viewpoint. Excuse me. Now he ties the ropes in a simple knot, just one time, just like that. Now tension will keep that there. Then what he did was he pulled them through David's shirt.
Right.
If you'd pull that side through for us, please, Dave.
You're not ticklish, are you? I think he is a little bit ticklish, actually, Vern, but we'll try not to tickle you here. Okay. You got yours through? There we go. Whoops. All right. I'm through as well.
Okay, let's pull it down like that.
Okay.
Now then, he grabbed one from either side. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter which one?
Doesn't matter which one. He can take either one he wants to.
Okay.
And again, he made a half knot in the rope right in the center.
Right, and all along he was saying now he's really tied up and can't escape.
And it really looks from the front like he's totally tied up. Now, we're going to pull this in slow motion so you can see what actually happens. Before we do,
let's have
David,
him stand maybe sideways.
Great. You can see this rope is just barely held on the back of his neck, and I could pop it free if I wanted to just by going like that.
And you have to do that before the pull, right?
Right, or else you might actually choke him. So you put your hand up on his neck to encourage him not to be nervous.
Just for a moment.
Just for a second, and as you do that, just pop the ropes so they're loose. They'll stay in place. Now, Dave, if you'll turn back this way so the camera can get you, then if you pull slowly, you count 1, 2, 3, and you see the ropes are all dissolving their knots and coming right through his body.
What a great stage illusion, and all you need is 2 pieces of rope.
That's
ungimmicked.
Right.
That's fine. David, thank you. You were very good. We appreciate it. All right. We'll probably have David in our next videotape.
Great.
Vern, our next, poring over the news. This is one of my favorites.
This is a neat effect. The way Greg did it, he used a Ziploc bag in one of the papers. Let me hold it up like this so that you can see. There's a Ziploc baggie right here.
Right.
We've already placed some red food coloring in there, approximately 4 or 5 drops.
I should mention, too, that complete instructions for gimmicking the newspaper will be included again in that special flash paper that you received with the video.
And this is worth the time it takes to set it up. So now we've got a Ziploc baggie in here that is not visible when you open up the papers and show it because it's actually been Scotch taped together. This is 2 sheets of paper, although it looks like one.
Right.
And the Ziploc baggie is right in the middle there.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So what happens in actual presentation then, this will go like this. He shows it open and free of any gimmicks when he just displays the paper.
1 sheet at a time.
Exactly. When he's
Okay.
ready to do the trick, he just joins it up. He sticks a finger or 2 down inside the baggie so it's spread open and it's easy to pour the liquid in.
Right.
Now he pulls the liquid in this case we're using water. Picks it up high above the Ziploc so that the audience can easily see that it's really water and it's really going in. Now since this is in a baggie, as long as he keeps this end of the paper up, nothing's going to show. And now he can show it open, and of course there's nothing there. Again, all of the water went right into the Ziploc here. After he's displayed it completely open, he can turn around, take it back, and because there's food coloring in there, when it comes out, it appears to be strawberry soda or whatever you want. Just like that.
That's really a beautiful effect.
He offered a toast. Then the beauty of what he did next was when Greg did it, he actually produced a dove.
That's right.
And that's wonderful for dove workers. He had it hanging in a little bag right behind the table he was working on. Since we know that a lot of our viewers won't have doves, Dave, we're going to use the little dog that he used in the later effect, Dynamite Dog, and we'll use that as the production. What you'd want to do is attach it with a little piece of Scotch tape or set it on a slight incline right behind the table that you're working at. I have it sitting just below sight, right here below this table. Then what Greg did as he put the paper down and the glass down, all he did was grab the little dog, I'm grabbing it by its tail right now, like this, and he pulled out the center section of the paper. What happens then is the dog is actually behind the newspaper, just like this. The spectators have seen this paper several times open. They know there's nothing in it. He folds it around like this. Again, this is from the magician's viewpoint. This is from Greg's viewpoint. He folds the newspaper around, crumples it up, and he pulls his production out from inside of the newspaper.
What a great trick, and that takes us into Dynamite Dog.
A great effect. Let me show you how nicely Dynamite Dog works. First of all, incidentally, included with the props they're going to receive with this video will be some balloons, I understand.
That's true, and they'll also be receiving some invisible thread.
Now this
These
is
are the balloons, and here's our thread.
This is the invisible thread.
Put this against my jacket, Vern, so we can see it here.
Okay, there we go. Now this actually is it's over 60 strands right here. And you can see how thick it is here, and yet it's obvious that some of it is hanging from my fingers.
Right.
You can see it bunched
Lower
up
your
here.
hands a little bit there, Vern, so it's against my... There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
You can see it bunched up here and how it's hanging. You just milk the thread down just like this, and that's how you get your length out that you want. Now, I already have a piece set up here. Again, it's invisible, and to make it easy to keep track of, we've put a piece of Scotch tape on one end, and the other end happens to be anchored to our boom mic. You could anchor it anywhere. I recall in the first video, we actually anchored it to your shoulder.
Right.
This just goes in your mouth, and you tuck it between your teeth and your cheek, like this. Now, you can still talk around it. Just ignore it, pretend it's not there. Pick up the balloon animal, put it upside down for a second right above the thread, and I engage it right underneath the ears, just like this. Come down until it rests, until the thread itself starts to engage the animal, just like that. Slowly lower your hand until it's just barely balanced there. Now at this point, that's a trick all by itself. You can wave your fingers and your hands over and around the balloon. To make it move over towards the table as Greg did, you just go like this, like you're motivating it, and you're actually moving your body, which is changing the anchor point. Try to move as slowly as you can. As soon as it comes to rest, let it slowly go down, and if you bend in towards it, Dave, it'll actually go and lie down, just like that.
Right.
Then to make it come up again, it's like this. Very mysterious looking effect. And again, you can move it back over, bring it down to rest on your hand, whatever you like.
And that's Dynamite Dog.
Dynamite Dog.
They get the balloons and the thread. And how about a little mentalism trick, Vern? Prediction Edition. That's a great trick.
This is a great one. Let's see, Dave, I need a book. Can you get a book for us,
I
please?
happen to have an Old Town Magic Shop catalog here.
Just happen to have it. Now,
Okay.
Dave, we need you to select a page. There's over 125 pages, I believe, in
That's
that book.
correct.
Would you please just name any page aloud?
87.
Okay, we're going to add those two digits together, so 8 and 7 are?
15.
So if you'll turn to page 15,
Okay.
we'll use the first line, and if you'll count over to the 5th word on that page and just mentally concentrate on that word.
The 5th word on the first line.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got it.
Will you make a mental picture of whatever that word is, please?
Okay, I'm doing that. Yes.
Okay, let me see if I can get any vibrations from you. Okay, yes, I'm getting something coming in. Dave, for the first time, would you reveal out loud what that word was?
Well, the word is king.
King, very good. Just like that.
Vern, what a neat little effect. Can you do this with any book?
Yes, you actually can. That's what's so neat about it. All they need to do this effect is take a book, spend a few minutes with it. You need to add up how many are the total number of pages in a book. So to give you an example, if the book had 300 pages in it, we're going to add each digit of the page number they choose. So the highest number they could choose in a 300-page book would be 299. And if you add all those digits together, you'd get 20. So you take a tablet like this, and on the back cardboard of the tablet, you actually write down 1 through 20, go to the first line of all 20 pages, count across to the 5th word, and write that word down here. Very simple method. Then while they're looking up in the book to try and find out what page try to find their page number, all you have to do is flip this up, look and see what page they're on,
Sure.
look at the word, wait and do a little bit of good acting, and then write the word down for them.
And they're busy looking at the book, and so they don't see you flipping that up there.
Isn't that great?
That's a great, great trick. Okay, 2 and a match trick here. Now this is something we didn't see Prediction Edition earlier. We've just shown that one and also shown how it's done. And these are 2 more tricks that we're going to demonstrate and also show you how to do them.
This one is one that I've been doing since I was a wee little nipper. It's a lot of fun. We're going to let the match burn for about 10 or 15 seconds. Now, children, don't do this trick unless you ask Mom or Dad first if it's all right to use matches. These are regular kitchen stove matches.
Wooden matches.
Wooden matches. Blow it out at about that point,
Right.
and I'm going to hold it, Dave, if you don't mind, against your jacket so it shows up well for
Sure.
the camera. And everybody has an invisible hair on their palm. Could I borrow your left
Oh,
palm
my
for a
palm?
moment? Yeah, now, you have a kind of a long one there. This might hurt a little bit. Oh, that is a long one. Now, we're going to tie it around the match, just like this.
Oh.
And, Dave, if you would do me a favor and just count to 3 for me.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Just like that, the top comes off.
What a cute trick, Vern. You have another one?
Let me show another one that goes well with this. What I'm going to do is light this match. I'm going to blow down this sleeve, and even though I'm holding the match in my other hand, it's the air is going to travel down my sleeves and blow the match out.
Really?
Watch and let's see how it works.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. Hey, how about that? Boy, I didn't know it could. That's incredible, Vern. 2 tricks, 2 quickies. How do you do them?
And yet they have a great impact on an audience. The first one is simplicity itself. You want the match to burn for at least 10 or 15 minutes, which will carbonize, seconds, thank you,
Yes.
which will carbonize the wood, and it'll make it very fragile and weak, about that long.
Right.
Just blow it out. Now, the whole trick is done by my second finger right here, and I'm catching the match on the bottom. And we'll get that in close-up. I'm catching the match on the bottom, and if I flick my finger real quickly with my nail striking the wood, it'll actually make the top part of the match come off, just like that. And since you time it by going 1, 2, 3,
With
they
that
see
invisible thread.
Exactly. They see this big movement, and they think that it's actually using their invisible hair.
Very clever. What was the second one?
The second one is very clever. The whole trick here is to extinguish the match just moments after it's ignited. If it gets a good burn going, you won't be able to do it. So what we do here is we hold the matchstick out like this, and my thumb is doing the same thing as in the first match trick, but behind my palm. Just like that. I'm just flicking against the wooden part of the match.
Okay.
So I just time it, I light it, I hold it out, and then I blow. And just like that, it goes out.
2 great, great tricks. Here's one that I made when I was about 9 years old. No kidding. This is called a square circle. Excuse me here a second, folks. This is a classic in magic. I don't know if this particular version is particularly classic, but I tell you one thing nice about this. This is something that you beginners in magic out there who want to do a little stage magic can build very, very easily yourself. I'll show you the effect. Could I have a little music, maestro? Ah. about that? That's called a square circle.
That's a great effect, David.
That's a very great
That's
effect.
a real classic of magic.
You know, we sell these in our stores for lots of money, but you can make one very simply yourself. All you need is a little bit of cardboard and a couple of tin cans, okay? First and all, you need to, and we'll have a pattern for this inside the flash paper that you'll be receiving. You need to have 4 small panels of cardboard, which I have taped together here, okay? And we have some cutouts on the front. Now, you can paint this any way you like on the outside, but on the inside, you want to paint it flat black, okay? Then you also need another piece of cardboard, which is just a flat piece of cardboard. I have some tape around it to kind of dress it up a little bit, okay? And finally, 2 tin cans. Now, this one happens to be a soup can, which I painted flat black, and this one happens to be, I think, green beans, as I recall, came in this can. And the way you do the trick is very, very simple. First of all, you put your load inside the black can. You set that in the center of your plaque here. You put your other tin can right on top of that one, fits down just like a sleeve, and then you put this overall like that. Now, because if I take out this silver can, Vern, you'll notice that because the can inside is black against a black background, you really can't see it. That's called a black art principle. And so you have your load in there, you show everything, you show this, you can show the bottom, you can pick up both of these cans at the same time in order to show the bottom. You can pick this up, you can pick this can up, put it back down again, and when you're all finished, you just pull out your load, which in this case was silks, but it could be anything you want. You could put streamers in there, silks, confetti, whatever you'd like to have. Now, that's called the square circle. Vern, we still have a lot more magic yet to go, and I think if we went out in the street right now, we'd find a young man by the name of Tony Silvestri.
Oh, he's a great magician,
He's
too.
a great magician, and he's having some fun.
How you doing, sir? What's your name? Colin. Colin, my name's Tony. How are you? Let's have some fun. Would you like to have some fun? Okay. This is real neat. Put your knees together, please. Sit up straight. Put your hands like this. Up here? Do you know what that is? You're going to find out in just a second, okay? We're going to put your hands up here. There you go. And I'm just going to take a little piece of this paper. Okay, watch closely now. Do you know which hand it's in? Very good, very good. Colin, are you ready? Take the napkin, please. Which hand is the napkin in? No, you're not watching. Colin, let's try it one more time, okay? Let's try it one more time, okay? Colin, are you watching closely this time? Okay? Colin, are you watching closely this time? Take the napkin. Which hand is the napkin in? No, you're not watching. Colin, let's make it a little easier for you, okay? Okay, Colin, you think you'll be able to recognize it this time? Are you ready? Which hand is it in?
That one.
Very good. Colin, one more time. Which hand is it in? None. It's in none. Oh, he got me. Let's make it a little smaller. Okay, Colin? Are you ready? Colin, which hand is it in? No, Colin, you're not watching. Think I got you. You're a great sport, Colin. Thank you very much for helping out. You have a nice day. By the way, here's a souvenir of Old Town. Thank you. Hey, sir, how you doing? What's your name?
Eduardo.
Eduardo, how you doing? My name's Tony. Would you like to have some fun? I'm going to show you a neat card trick. Would you like that? Do me a favor. I'm going to turn my back, first of all, and I want you to tell me when to stop, anytime you like. You want that card? I want you to remember that card, okay? I'm going to take and hand you the deck, and I want you to shuffle the cards, please. Shuffle the cards. Just one shuffle's fine. Okay. Very good. Now I'm going to take the cards, I'm going to look through the deck, and I'm going to try to find your card. I might have a problem, okay? I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go through the deck and take your card out of the deck, please. Look right through the deck. Take your card out. Look through the deck and look for your card.
Yeah, this is a card.
Is that your card? Well, how did it get in your pocket? You don't know. Thank you very much, Eduardo. You have a nice day at Old Town, okay? Bye-bye.
Plumber's Helper, this is a great classic routine, and we kind of dressed it up a little bit with some toilet tissue.
Yes, he
This
did.
is for you, Bert.
Thank you
A
very
souvenir of
much.
Old Town, as I recall.
Thank you so much, Dave. All he did was obvious. He just threw the balls over the head. The main thing here is to make it look to the audience like you're doing something suspicious in front of them. So hold the ball like this and pretend to put it in this hand. Actually put it there if you want to or not, but make it look suspicious. Something like this. Okay, watch closely. Which hand is the ball in? And it doesn't matter which hand they say. Then when you're ready to do the actual move, it's come in closer, watch closely, and right over the head it sails.
That's such an effective routine. Very entertaining on a stage setting, too, if you have a stage show.
Yes,
that works
it
great.
is.
Put the spectator in a chair and have them sitting with their side to the audience. Okay, sneaky peek. This is a great little card trick.
This is one of the ones that I very much enjoy watching Tony do. Now, this is a great sleight for you card workers to use. He fans the deck slightly like this, very slightly, and he grabs it on the upper right-hand corner of the deck, right up here, and he just goes through with his index finger and says, say stop.
Stop.
As soon as they say stop, he breaks the deck there and lets them look in there. At that moment, the little finger goes in and takes a little finger break, and he extends the deck to the spectator. When he does that, let me show you what he gets to see. I'll turn around so you can see Tony's view. When he does that, the place they stopped him at is in full view what his card is. And yet their eyes are busy reaching for the deck, so they can't see that. So he's looking right at the card when he hands the deck to them.
So this is the same little finger break that we taught at the beginning of the tape.
The exact same one.
Just a little bit wider, perhaps, in the back so you can plainly see that card.
Right. Now, the other part of what he did, as soon as he handed the deck to them, they cut it or shuffled it a couple of times. He took the deck back. He just went through the decks. Let's say that their card was the 9 of clubs. He went through the deck till he found the 9. He cut it off to the top of the deck, just by cutting it right at that spot. Then he dropped the cards for a moment, and when he did that, he palmed the top card. He just put his hand right on top of it. He slid it off. Let me show it to you from the other side so you can see what I'm doing. He just slid the card off just like that. Now, from the spectator's viewpoint, it looks like this. What I'd like you to do is take the cards, and he patted them on their upper shoulder at the same time, and that loaded the card in the spectator's breast pocket.
And you're making lots of eye contact throughout this.
And you're, of course, looking at the deck and not here. And if you noticed, if you go back and look at the video, you'll notice he touched them a lot to get them used to him touching them so they weren't suspicious when he finally did. Then he asked them to go through and look for the card, and naturally they can't find it.
Vern, do you recall what happened to me when you showed me this trick for the first time? I really was fooled by this trick, and I was really surprised when he told me to look down, and sure enough, there was that chosen card right inside my breast pocket. Okay, we wanted to show you a couple of basic sleight of hand effects before we finished here today. Vern, we have some sponge balls here. Would you like to show us some sponge ball magic that involves some sleight of hand?
Sure, these are some great basic sleights. You can use other items with this. If you don't have any sponge balls, you can make some out of paper napkins if you want to. The classic move with this would be, I'm going to show you how to hold them, Dave. You hold one in your left hand like this, and Dave, I'd like you to hold this one, please, in your left hand, and just squeeze and make a fist out of that. That's fine. And then I'm going to tap my hand and tap your hand, and you'll notice something unusual happens. Mine has disappeared, and if you'll open your hand over the table, you now have both of them. Isn't that neat?
That's very clever.
Now, another thing, you can point to either one of them.
Okay, how about this
This one right here, you can take it like this and just knife right through it like that, and you can actually cut them into two.
Show us how you did both of those.
Sure.
effects.
The first one's called a revolve vanish. The ball goes in. I'm going to show you the movements of the right hand only because both hands work to do this. The right hand just rolls the ball over like this, and then at this point, let me stand in this position. At this point, it squeezes up and pushes the ball into the fist, and the index finger comes out to point with. While that's happening, the left hand merely curls up and makes a fist and goes forward. When you put the two together, it looks like this. I'll give you an exposed view from the magician. It goes just like this. And the misdirection is very strong. We have a tendency to watch whatever is moving. So if this hand is empty and we want them to think that's where the ball is, that's the one we move, and naturally we move it towards them. Again, one time in normal motion, it's normal speed, it looks just like this. Now then, the ball is in this position in the fist.
Right.
Now these fingers are free to reach down and pick up the second ball, and all I'm doing is I'm positioning it above the ball that's already there, just like that. And if you push down slightly with your thumb, you'll notice that it still looks like there's just one ball there. This one goes into their hand, they make a fist. The situation is this: they think they have one ball, they think you have one ball. In reality, they have two. You tap, and you show that they've got both.
And there they are. Now, how did you make the balls split? What appeared to be one ball split into two balls?
Just a variation of what we just did. I just reached under the table, I grabbed a ball in that same position, I picked up a second ball, and as I moved it over to the table, I just slid it so it was right next to the one that's already in my hand. I pushed down with my index finger between the two, and then you just rub back and forth, and it'll slowly look like you slice right to them. Very strong illusion. Just like
Okay,
that.
we have time for one more slice, Vern. How about doing it with the corn?
This is a real classic. It's called a French drop. It's one of the most useful coin slides. It looks like this in normal motion, and the coin's gone. The way one does that, the right hand, all it has to do is hold the coin like this and just lift the thumb up slightly and allow the coin to drop. The left hand is the covering hand. It reaches over and pretends to grab it. It actually takes nothing. The key thing to remember here is the eye has a tendency to watch whichever hand moves. So we move the empty hand towards the spectator, and the one with the coin actually in it doesn't move. Again, it looks like this as an exposed view. This hand just drops, this hand comes over. Towards the spectator, it'll look just like this. Very strong illusion.
Well, we did it, Vern. 30 dynamite tricks in 1 hour. And you know, most of them are very, very easy to do.
They really are, and everyone should remember that you can always rewind the tape to review anything you may have missed.
Vern, I want to check with you on one thing on these sponge balls. When you have them both in your hand like this, and you put your hand down, it's important to keep your hand. Well, there you have it, Vern. 1 full hour of wonderful magic shot right on location here at beautiful Old Town in Kissimmee.
Yes, Dave, but now it's time for us to pack up our props and disappear.
Well, that's right, Vern. You know, of all the tricks that we performed today in the video, my favorite one was the square circle. You know, we had the box and the two tin
the
cans.
square circle.
And you put,
Dave, no. The square circle was great. You demonstrated it.
Yeah, I
It was
did.
beautiful. But Dave, the best trick we did today, Flim Flam Man, no contest.
Very nice trick, Vern. Very nice. And you demonstrated that one.
Thank
But
you,
my
thank you.
favorite one was the square circle
Dave,
because you had the
Dave,
box
Dave, the
and
square
the two tin
circle is
cans.
just this
And you
little prop. The Flim Flam Man is a sophisticated magic trick.
I know it's sophisticated and I know it's very good and you did a wonderful job, but you got to be honest about this. If you're really objective about this,
Honest?
you got to admit that
Dave,
that
the
the
Flim
square
Flam Man is-
circle,
there's no-
Vern,
Dave,
was Vern. The
anybody
square
that likes
circle was
magic is gonna
absolutely the
love
best. Vern, why
square
don't you
circle.
listen to me
But
sometimes? The
Flim Flam Man
square
is the
circle
best
was
trick.
the Flim
I
Flam
don't-
Man was very
I can't
fine, and
believe
you're
you
a
say
wonderful
that.
Flim Flam kind of
How
guy.
could you say that?
I really think that the square circle with the tin cans